Good, how are you?
Good. Talking to Wade, he talked about, or talking to James, he talked about the potential that Candace could be back playing tonight. So with that, how do you adjust in terms of mental at all, knowing that I don't know, maybe you'll play less minutes or you'll play behind her? What's the adjustment like?
Um, Honestly, there's not really an adjustment. And yeah, I mean, maybe an adjustment that I'll play a little less, but I don't know. I kind of just have been working on just going into the games with no expectations. Because mentally it's better for me to prepare that way than like, okay, tonight I'm only gonna play this minutes because like you never know what's gonna happen. So I don't know. I mean, the only adjustment would be I'll just be excited that she's back, honestly. But other than that, I don't think there will really be any other adjustments that I'll have.
Got you. And then last thing, I talked to James earlier in the week about offensively some adjustments you guys made in these last two practices. So can you elaborate on some of the changes that were established offensively in order to create more movement, more spacing on the floor, and allow you guys to tap into that success you saw last season?
Yeah, I think we just like we just needed to practice because that's kind of where you are able to work a little bit more on specific things that you've seen in the game. But I think we just worked on like passing it more. We excuse me, we did a couple of drills where we were really forced to like pass only. So it just helped kind of reinforce the way that we played last year. Because last year we definitely passed like way more than we dribbled. So I think that was like one of the main things we did was just besides just actually being able to practice and work on different sets and stuff was really focusing on like pass first before dribbling or any of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
No books.
Ray, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Coach Wade talked about some team building that you guys did. Can you kind of elaborate on some of the things that you guys did?
Yeah, we excuse me. Yeah, we had dinner at coaches. And I think it was good just for team morale for us to just spend some time together and kind of just bond with that experience. And we talked about some qualities of like a good teammate. And then we kind of went through and talked about what we could do each individually, like what we could bring to the team. One thing that we could bring to the team, and the staff was there also. So I think it was really good just for us to all kind of look within at what we can be bringing to this team on a nightly basis. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. It was nice to just outside of like, you're just showing up and practicing and stuff. It was nice to have just like a more chill environment that we were all together in.
And one more question. How do you feel like you are getting back in rhythm after getting some games and coming off your foot injury?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. This whole like start to the year has just been like not ideal. And my foot's actually doing pretty well. And I'm sort of just managing my knee. Like I also have to manage that as well because this is the first time I've been back since my surgery. So it's just like a daily thing, like honestly. And that's why I said like I kind of have switched my mentality to just approaching every game with an open mind, making sure that I do everything I can to feel like ready physically and just approaching it with an open mind. So that way I have no like expectations on what really is going to happen. Just whenever minutes I get in, like I'm just going to focus on doing what I can in those minutes. But to answer your question, I know that was a little long-winded, but to answer your question, I feel like I'm getting back into my normal self, but I'm still not where I want to be. So just a daily process.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ezra. We'll have Diamond and Shields up next. Hi, Diamond. Thanks for joining us. We'll start with Annie Costello with the Sun Times.
Hey Diamond, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I talked to Wade earlier in the week and he, shared with me a little bit about your guys' practices these last 2 days and some changes y'all made on offense or with your offensive sets. So can you elaborate a little bit on what those changes were and how you feel in terms of getting this offense back to where it was last year in terms of production?
Yeah, we had to simplify some stuff. We have a very talented team, and so you don't have to complicate an offense when you have so many offensive weapons. Even though our productivity has been not something that is characteristic of this team in the past, but like we know what we have offensively, so just simplifying it so that we can get into positions to score the basketball.
And you've talked about your confidence in that, you are confident in taking the shot no matter what. So how or what have you done personally or been focused on personally to bring your individual game maybe back to a level that again it was at in 2019 or even last year before you left the bubble? If that's something that you have been focused on.
Just having fun.
Mhm.
You know, no one likes to lose games. So, you tend to get wrapped up in those losses and, just reminding myself that this is a game, first of all. And this is a game that I love. And I get to play every day. So, you just need those reminders sometimes to enjoy this. Even when things start to look murky and you do lose a few games. It happens. It's all a part of the process. We got a lot more basketball to play, and just remind myself to have fun. That's really been what I personally have been focusing on.
And then last thing for me, James also mentioned that we could see Candace Parker tonight. How are you all feeling about her return and having her back on the court?
You know, I feel good about her return. I just feel better about her being healthy.
Yeah.
It's good to see her walking around. It's good to see her working out. It's good to see her on the floor, moving around. So, that's always the biggest concern. We want to have her out there, of course. We want to have her playing, but we all just want her to be healthy. So, that's been the biggest joy to me.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Eric Wilson.
Diamond, as always, I appreciate your time. I just wanted to ask you, over these last couple of practices, how has transition been for you guys with regards to, just the passing, the setting the pick and rolls and kind of making sure that people are in the right place?
Yeah, it's we just had to just prioritize those things a lot more. We haven't been doing a good job of screening. We haven't been doing a good job of taking care of the ball. And so we really made those a priority in practice and every day when we come into work. So, just hyper focused on it, trying to address it now. You want to deal with these problems early in the season, not, in the postseason.
And just a quick follow up. I know there's been, changes, people coming in, people leaving, people coming back. How is the core group? And when I say that, I refer to you, Kalia, Courtney, Allie. How the four of you kind of just made sure that everybody knew their role, basically?
It's more of just like a leading by example. It was complicated at one point because you had some players that would come in for a week and then they would be gone, and they would, so it was like we didn't really have too much room to just be like, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. We just kind of try to come in and lead by example, so that by watching us, watching the way we approach practice and the way we approach the games, that, people could just follow suit.
Thank you, Diamond.
James K.
Hey Diamond, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. This team I think has taken a really good attitude with this, just trying to stay patient with, still 2/3 left of the season. But do you feel like there is a sense of urgency to start getting things going, even though teams have rebounded from starts like this in the past?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a sense of urgency. Like you don't ever want to go on a seven game losing streak. Um, so at this point, we understand that we need to get one in the win column tonight. And far as just the way we've handled it, I mean, like I said, it happens. We all have faith in each other. We all have faith in James, in this organization. We know what we have here. So we're going to get through it.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Noah Wilkes.
Hey, Diamond, how you doing?
Good.
I just want to ask you, your coach, Tanya Edwards, she was a part of a Charlotte team that started the season 1-10. You guys right now on a 7-game losing streak. Has she talked to you guys about how her team was on that started 1-10 and went on a losing streak like this, and they were still able to reach the WNBA finals? Has she talked to you guys about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was funny because I don't know, a few days ago, James brought it up. He was like, he sent us a message. He's like, this team started with that record 1-10, and this is how they ended up finishing the season. These things happen, just to kind of give us a pick me up. We had no idea that Tanya was on that team. And so today in Shootaround, she came in the locker room and she was like, James sent that message to you guys, and but I was actually on that team. And then she went on to, tell us a story of just the attitude that they had every day when they came into work, and the togetherness that they had, and how no one believed in them, they believed in them. And that's what took them, that's what carried them on for the rest of the season. So, like I said, we know what we have here. And it's only a matter of time before we start putting it together. So, there's a sense of urgency. We know we need to start winning games, but this is not the end of the road.
Thank you, Diamond.
Thank you, Diamond. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you pregame with James Wade.